Marauders issue 15 finds Earth in ruins thanks to Saturnine being killed by Wolverine, the armies of Arakkii marching on it uninterrupted. As Doctor Strange in his sanctum is killed, Wolverine is now crucified and is met by a shadowy woman who wonders what happens to Wolverine in this world. She stabs Wolverine with her own set of adamantium claws, revealing herself to be Saturnine, who says that Logan will never wear a crown, but she knows he cares for his people, which is why she is giving him this gift of a glimpse at the future should he try and kill her. Back in the real world, it's revealed that Logan never actually stabbed the Queen, who tells him to sit back down or she will banish him. Logan decides to forget it, heading back to the table only to find Cypher stealing his sushi appetizer. Wolverine doesn't care but soon gets the scent of something sinister, hitting the sushi from Cypher's hand, but it's too late as the boy begins to choke thanks to the poison War put on his food. Wolverine and Storm try and help Doug as Iska arrives, stabbing Cypher in the neck and giving him another air hole to breathe from. Storm knows that they need to get Doug home now as the White Sword confronts War about her poisoning. She says that Wolverine would have been the one who ate it since there's too much at stake to have their fate decided by a sword fight, and Wolverine would have been a great impediment to them. Logan demands to be sent back to Krakoa with Cypher, but Saturnine says that if that happens they forfeit the contest. As War says not all of them have 100 soldiers at their disposal like the White Sword, the being says that he will not be party to cowardice like poisoning, touching Douglas and healing him, telling the mutant that he need not be in his debt now. Apocalypse and Genesis meanwhile talk about how well adjusted their kids seem to be. The dinner continues and Brian petitions Saturnine, saying that clearly the Arakkii violated their invitation by cheating, wanting her to set aside their claim and make Krakoa the winner. Saturnine finds that fair and usually she would agree with Brian, but the Krakoans also sought to murder her. Brian becomes angered at Wolverine as War finds herself impressed with Logan, not considering that he would have attacked Saturnine. Logan says that all he wants to do is get his people home safely, which War finds the single desire of every brave soldier. Dinner is resumed and the servants bring out their next course, some cooked scarabs. Serving Death, the being is angered he is being made to eat the sacred beetle. Because of it, he removes his helmet, looking the servant dead in the eye and reducing him to dust. Getting back to his meal, Death finds his scarab is gone, with Wolverine calling for his attention as he eats the being's beetle, not wanting to let good food go to waste. Brian meanwhile says that he didn't know Logan was going to attack Saturnine and she understands, apologizing for not being able to fulfill Brian's request to forfeit Arakko. The Queen does say accommodations could be made should he take up the right sword and reclaim the mantle he was destined for. Brian says that that was his past and he cannot accept it, hoping the Queen won't go to bits over it. Brian and Betsy watch on as the next course, Unicorn, is served. The White Sword says that he doesn't need to eat, but this is a meal he'll make an exception for as Wolverine helps himself to the endangered species. Summoner finds it strange to see White Sword healing someone and not take their soul for his army as repayment, but the being says that he never asks to carry the shame of poisoning at a parley. Summoner says that Cypher doesn't realize how lucky he is, as they talk about the coming battle and Summoner doesn't plan on dying for a long time. Gorgon tires of hearing them talking about their eventual deaths, asking White Sword if he can resurrect himself. The being doesn't know and he knows he never will, as Cable meanwhile knows that this must be really weird for Apocalypse and Genesis. Apocalypse says that weird is a human word used to describe a reality that human minds can't grasp, and soon the mutant will understand that they have more experience. Cable leaves to meet with Iska, knowing her power is that she cannot be beaten, wanting her to demonstrate that. Iska says that they will see more tomorrow in the battle as Magic asks to see Iska's skill as well. Magic and Cable run Iska through a set of challenges, like pin the tail on Pog and stacking wine glasses. They find the woman never loses at anything, wondering what would happen if Iska fought Domino. Iska says that Domino would lose as Cable knows he's not looking forward to fighting her, and Iska knows he might end up living with thinking like that. Death and Redroot meanwhile watch on, with Death calling the mutants coddled and weak. Redroot wonders if maybe they had grown up on a better world like Krakoa than theirs, they would be like that, having grown towards the sun. Death tells her to set aside such thoughts of the sun, not wanting her to attach herself to weak things since they will cull them all by dawn. Logan meanwhile tells Storm what Saturnine showed him in his illusion, knowing that they better have a plan if this score isn't in their favor. Saturnine calls everyone to her, hoping they have enjoyed her hospitality as she summons her cards, drawing 2 random ones which represent the first battle in the contest of swords. Revealing the cards, Saturnine proclaims that that Betsy Braddock will be battling Iska the Unbeaten to the death. Marauders issue 15 finally saw the series get to the titular sword fights as Krakoa and Arakkii sit down for the possible final meal for many of the combatants. I really enjoyed how Jerry Duggan and Benjamin Percy made this issue rather comfy, for better lack of a word. I love mutants and Arakkii just sitting around having dinner and shit talking one another. I do like that since we never really got any solo issues dedicated to the Horsemen or the other Arakkii contestants, we do get quite a bit of them here and in the last few issues, learning a little bit more about them, and I enjoy the parallels between them and Krakoa beyond the obvious ones of them being from two different islands and whatnot. Like, the Arakkii are highly arrogant and thinking they are better than everyone thanks to where they were raised. Since we finally have our first battle next issue, I'm really looking forward to the contest finally getting underway now that the formalities are out of the way. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.